Welcome to my latest video on the poor life of milk jugs. Today I'm going to use some USPSA or IDPA competition loads and see how many jugs we can go through. I'm going to compare them to some actual defensive loads. Now, why would we want to use these competition loads? Well, first, what is a competition load? Typically it is a lower power round than what a factory round is, and actually significantly lower than a defensive round. But a lot of us competitive shooters, you know, we have usually at least a couple of thousand of these things on hand at a time. Because with practicing and going to matches, we need to keep quite the stock. So you know, the day that the zombies show up, we don't have 2,000 rounds of hydroshocks or spear gold dots. We've got these competition loads, and I will give you a look at what some of them look like. So what exactly is a competition load? Well, a competition load is a specific power factor of bullet, and for 9mm competition you need to have a 125 power factor. That would be, how you do the math, is a 125 grain bullet going 1,000 feet per second. If you did multiply those two, you would get 125,000. You just drop the 3 zeros, and then they claim that, okay, now your power factor is 125. That power factor is specific to a 9mm. You'd want to show up at a competition with over 125 so that they didn't chrono your ammo and it just happened to be under for that day. Okay, first off, over the chronograph and into the jugs is going to be a 124 grain Remington Golden Saber. Okay, the Golden Saber was 1,088 feet per second. That's not terribly impressive. So we went through 1, 2, into number 3, and into number 4. Then we got a little damage right there. And I looked inside, we have a beautiful hollow point there. Let's take a look at it. So it stopped on the 4th jug. 124 grain. Almost wanted to separate there a little bit. Golden Saber Remington. 4 jugs. Yeah, it's approximately 24 inches of water. Okay, now for the short barrel version of the Spear Gold Dot 124 grain 9mm 4.5 inch barrel Glock 17. Well, I shot a couple of these gold dots over the chronograph, and they are hanging out right around 1190, which is pretty impressive. But kind of different over here is that we definitely destroyed the first jug. We went into the second one, into the third one, and it stopped where we actually got 4 jugs with the supposedly lower velocity Remington Golden Saber. It's in here, so we're going to get to see it. Okay, here's our Spear Gold Dot, which is actually a plated bullet, but bonded to the core pretty darn nice. I'm going to have to run some more of the sabers over the chronograph to verify that velocity was correct, because there was a lot more velocity with the Spear Gold Dot, but it only went into the 3rd jug, where the saber actually went into the 4th and dented the back of it pretty good. Okay, still with a 9mm Glock 17. This is the Winchester White Box 115 grain. Shouldn't expand very much. Let's see how far this goes. Okay, that 115 grain Winchester White Box. The second shot was 1120. I had tried one more just to get an average, and that was 1150. So we have like an 1135 average FPS. Okay, so they do not expand very much. They're not encountering bone or anything, so it literally went through. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it went right out the back and continued going. So double what the Spear Gold Dot did, but of course with no expansion at all. Okay, 147 grain cast lead bullet, but powder coated, and coming out of the 4.5 inch barrel Glock 17. Well, that powder coated 147, which pretty much just mimics a full metal jacket, that was going almost exactly 850 FPS, which means that was like the very bottom of what you could legally use for competition, 125 power factor. And it went through 1, 2, 3, 4, and then number 5, unfortunately it blew it outside here. But I'm sure that it would have kept going. There's about 2,100 of the 147 grain cast powder coated projectiles right there. That pretty much mimics, when I load them, the Federal Syntech 150 grain competition load.